So yes, good afternoon to everyone. So we are doing our chapter number 2, which is about the cyber ethics, cyber crime, and the cyber security. In previous class, we have discussed what is cyber crime, what is the unethical practices, and I have told you about the plagiarism and the cyberbullying. Now it's time to just continue that unethical practices list. Now it's time to understand the one of major, or you can say one of very interesting and one of very curious topic for you teenagers, for you students, is the hacking and the cracking. So those who done the hacking, those who do the hacking known as the hackers, those who do the cracking of the password is known as the crackers, as simple as its name suggests. So let's start it together. So now our topic will be the hackers and crackers. So a hacker is a person, yes, it's very obvious to understand. A hacker is a person who possesses a high level of computer skills and has a good knowledge of the machine and the operating system. So a hacker is nothing but a kind of person who has a high level of computer skill. Someone asked me that, sir, I want to be a hacker. So what should I know? So you have to possess a very high level of computer skill if you want to be a hacker. Okay, and has a very good knowledge of the machine and the operating system. Operating system is what? It's like you have to have the good knowledge of the Windows, of the Linux, of the Android, and etc., and the knowledge of coding also. So he attempts to gain access to a remote computer for which he is not authorized. Remote computer means the random computer. He wants to gain access. That means he wants to use that computer for which he is not authorized. That means someone is want to access that computer which is not authorized, which he is not allowed to use that computer. That means he want to use that computer or that system unethically. So with the intention of corrupting or stealing data in that system. So what is the intention of behind that? So he want to corrupt or steal the data. So that's why this process is known as the hacking, and the person who do the hacking is known as the hacker. So, but the main aim of hacking is to know the details of the system. Yes, if we will have the detail of any system, then we can access that system, then we can access that remote computer. Will you be agree to me or not? Supposingly, if I have the password of anyone's email account, if I have the username of that email account, then I can access that email account. Okay, similarly, if I will have systems knowledge, I will have the details of the system, then I can access that computer or that can device, okay, unethically or unauthorized. So how does it work rather than causing any damage to the user's data? So what it do is it damage the user's data. How it will damage? That means it will steal our data, it will misuse our data, and it will delete our data. Supposing that I am having a big structure of financial statement and someone is using my computer without my permission, or he has using them unauthorizedly, then he can delete my online transaction details, then he can steal my online transaction credentials. So this is come under the category of hacking, and the person who do is known as the hacker. Next topic is a cracker. A cracker, on the other hand, is a person who is an expert in breaking the security of a system. As the name suggests, cracking is what? To crack something, to reveal something. Okay, so a cracker is a person who cracked the password. As you have seen in the movies also, in the Bollywood movies or in the Hollywood movies, that someone is expert to tracing the devices and someone is expert to just cracking the password, because cracking the password is very hard or very complex process. We have to predict the password for a particular system, we have to predict the password for a particular device. So it is very hard, or we can say the complex system. So the person who do this system, the person who crack the password of any system or any device or any mobile phone, so is known as the cracker. So because of this, they are also known as the cyber bulgars. Bulgars means the kidnapper, or you can say that in Hindi word daku. Okay, so their intention is always to cause damage to other user. Yes, absolutely. if they want to crack the password, that means they are having intention to damage someone's other's computer. Okay, so this is the basic phenomena, or you can say the basic working concept of the cracking. So they are considered to be more dangerous than hackers. Yes, they are more dangerous than hackers. Why? Because they crack the password. They have the full access of our system. Hacking is comprises for one particular task, or you can say the one particular app, you can say the one for the one particular software. But the cracker will intend your whole system. He will attack on your whole system. So cracker is more dangerous than the hackers. So after discussing the cracking and the hacking, how we can prevent from this hacking or cracking method. So as simple as that, we have to follow certain types of rules, certain types of standard. Okay, so what are these standards are? First one is always use original software and keep updating your web browser and the operating system. What does it mean? That you have to update your operating system. If you are using computer, or if you are using laptop or desktop, then you have to update your browser, you have to update your operating system, just like the Windows, Linux, Unix. Okay, and if you are using cellular phone or the smartphone, you have to update that Android application as well as the Android operating system also. So this will make, or this will ensure that your system is up to date and it is secure to use. Install the latest antivirus software in your system and keep it up to date. Very simple to understand. If you are having any kind of antivirus software, then it's very rare chance that any virus can occur in our system, or any other malicious activity can happen in our system. So firewall can be a good solution to scan each and every message entering your system. There is a very interesting and there is a very effective method of preventing from hacking or cracking is firewall. Firewall is what? A kind of wall or a kind of interface that works between the user and the internet. That means between the computer and the network. So whatever the data is coming, mark my point, student, whatever the data is coming towards the computer system, it will be first scanned by the firewall. Whatever the data has been going outside from the computer system to the network, it will also be scanned by the firewall. That means incoming and outgoing of data is being scanned by the firewall. So it will scan all the malicious activity if it will occur in our system. Okay. So change your login password on a regular basis. Yes. On a regular basis, and do not keep them very simple, very obvious to understand, very basic thing to understand, that we have to log in, we have to change our login password on a regular basis. Okay, sometimes what we do is we just create a password with the name of near or dear friends. We create our password with the help of our date of birth, but we are not supposed to set our login password in a very simple manner. If you are setting your password in a very simple manner, so you are supposed to change it also. Okay. Never open a mail received from any unauthorized source. Very important also. This is come under the category of phishing. If you are accessing any kind of unauthorized source mail, unauthorized source link, then it will redirect you to the malicious software, or you can say the malicious web page. What it will do is it will steal all your data. Once you have clicked that link, once you have clicked on that mail, it will retrieve all the data and then it will misuse. So these are the prevention measures that one should follow if he or she want to avoid himself or herself from hacking or cracking. So I hope that you have understood what is hacking or what is cracking. So after discussing the hacking or cracking, now we will discuss the very important topic, which is phishing. Phishing is very important and very interesting because it deals with day-to-day life. I hope that you have also faced it. It is one of the fraudulent process. Fraudulent process, that means to do fraud. Okay. Fraud वाली process को क्या बोलते हैं? Fraudulent process to collect some secret information from the users, like his credit card or debit card number, net banking password, accounts data, and etc. If someone want to access, or if someone want to collect some secret information from you in a very unethical way, then it will be considered as the phishing. So, for example, you may receive an email from your bank asking you to update your information regarding your user ID and password of your net banking account. Yes, I hope that you have also seen such kind of messages in which it is entitled by the bank site, and they said that you have to update your user ID, you have to update your password, you have to update your email. So when we just click on that link, then they will steal all our data with that link, because it is the phishing mail. Okay, it is the phishing mail, or you can say that it is the phishing message. So if we are not sure that this message or this mail comes from the came from the bank, okay, if we are not sure, then please do not open or please do not click on that link, because it will lead you to the serious problem. Okay, so the mail which appears to be genuine, mark my point students, the mail or the message that appears to be genuine and sent by the bank, okay, that seems that it is sent by the bank, but actually it doesn't. So it's actually a fraudulent mail which collects sensitive information and sends it to people who may use it later for cyber crimes. Marking my point or not? So this means that कि वो जो है आपका मेल जो है या मैसेज है वो एकदम जेन्युइन लगेगा, एकदम रियल लगेगा, ऐसा लगता है कि वो बैंक से ही आया है, बट वो एक फ्रॉडेंट मेल होता है, मैसेज होता है, जो क्या करना चाहता है, हमारी सेंसिटिव इंफॉर्मेशन को कलेक्ट करके और फिर उसको या तो वो सेल आउट कर देते हैं या फिर वो खुद ही मिसयूज करते हैं. So how we can prevent ourselves from phishing? Yes, so be careful about the mails we receive in your mailbox. नेवर ओपन अ मेल रिसीव फ्रॉम अननोन सोर्सेज, यानी कि जब भी हम मेल बॉक्स में से किसी भी ईमेल या मैसेजेस को खोलते हैं, ओपन करते हैं या एक्सेस करते हैं, तब हमें बहुत केयरफुल होना चाहिए. और जब तक हमें पता नहीं है कि ये अननोन रिसोर्सेज से है, जब फिर आप उसका यूआरएल देखते हैं, उसका नेम देखते हैं, टाइटल देखते हैं, तो टाइटल यूआरएल यानी कि जो लिंक होती है बेटा, यूआरएल में हमें कहीं ना कहीं पता चल ही जाता है कि हाँ ये वाला जो मेल है या ये वाला जो मैसेज है कहीं ना कहीं फ्रॉड है. ठीक है, तो अगर आप श्योर नहीं हो, वैलिडेट नहीं है, तो डू नॉट ओपन दैट मेल. A mail asking you to provide any confidential details about your bank account, यानी कोई भी एक ऐसा मेल या कोई भी एक ऐसा मैसेज आपको अगर कहता है कि आप अपने बैंक अकाउंट की डिटेल्स दीजिए, क्रेडेंशियल्स दीजिए, कॉन्फिडेंशियल डेटा, देन या फिर आपको बोल दे कि वो आपकी ऑनलाइन लॉटरी लगी है या फिर आपके ऑनलाइन आपने इतने रुपए जीते हैं, तो नेवर प्रोवाइड एनी इंफॉर्मेशन टू दीज मैसेजेस. ओके, सो दीज आर सम स्टेप. And the last, never use the link provided in a mail to open the bank website. That means कि अगर किसी मेल में एक कोई लिंक दी हुई है कि इस लिंक से आप अपना बैंक की वेबसाइट खोल सकते हैं, तो बेटा उसको कभी नहीं हमें खोलनी चाहिए. ओके, सो दीज आर सम स्टेप which we can follow to prevent from the phishing. So next topic is spamming. Spamming is the practice of sending unwanted emails or messages to a large number of people who otherwise do not want to receive these messages. That means ऐसे मैसेजेस भेजना जो हम नहीं चाहते, जो मैं नहीं चाहता कि ये वाले मैसेजेस मेरे पास आए, जैसे कि एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स के, एडवर्टाइज के, है ना, बट ईमेल्स के आते रहते हैं कि हाँ भाई ये शर्ट लॉन्च हुई है, ये मोबाइल फोन लॉन्च हुआ है, ये हमारी कंपनी ये प्रोवाइड करा रही है. दैट मींस द सेंडिंग ऑफ अनवांटेड ईमेल और अनवांटेड मैसेजेस इज नोन एज द स्पैम. So the most common form of spam is unwanted electronic junk mails. Yes, we all receive that junk mails. Junk mails is nothing but unwanted mails which do not have any relevancies to us, in which a single message is sent to multiple individual users using their direct mail addresses. यानी कि एक ही सिंपल मैसेज, एक ही कॉमन मैसेज जो होता है वो सभी एक से ज्यादा इंडिविजुअल्स को भेजा जाता है, पर्टिकुलरली डायरेक्ट उनके मेल एड्रेस पे. In these mail, services and products are promoted by various companies. Yes, इसमें क्या होता है कि सर्विसेज और प्रोडक्ट्स को कंपनी जो अपना प्रमोट करती है, एडवर्टाइज करती है. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम these are annoying. Yes, they are annoying. They just irritates us. But harmless also. How it will be harmless is that once we will click on that link, they might or they may steal our data. So, however, sometimes these are used for identity theft or cyber fraud. Now the student will ask me, what is the identity theft, sir? So identity theft is stealing someone's identity. That means I am Praveen, but I am using the name of Rakshit and I am using the DP of Rakshit also, that means I am stealing the identity of Rakshit. So this will be considered as the identity theft. Cyber fraud is nothing but a cyber fraud, means that stealing someone's confidential data or stealing someone's financial data. So how we can prevent ourselves from spamming? Never provide your email address to any unreliable website, as it could be misused by them for sending spam mails. That means we are not supposed to provide our mail address to any unreliable website. Unreliable website, that if you are having any kind of doubt, if you are having any kind of मतलब आपको डाउट हो रहा है, आपको शक हो रहा है किसी भी वेबसाइट पे, तो वहां पर आप अपनी ईमेल एड्रेस को फिल आउट मत करिए. Use spam filters facility of your mail server. Yes, if you will use the Gmail account, then it will also give you the separate column of spam folders. The spam folder will contains all the spam messages. यानी कि spamming के लिए अलग से filters यूज होते हैं बेटा. जैसे अगर आप Truecaller पे देखें तो Truecaller हमें बता देता है कि spam कॉल है, और अगर मैं Gmail की बात करूं तो Gmail भी हमें बता देता है कि स्पैम मेल है. अगर आपके ऊपर है, आप इसको देखना चाहते हैं कि नहीं देखना चाहते. Never reply to the mails collected under the spam folder. Spam folder के अंदर जितने भी मेल्स आ रखे हैं उनको रिप्लाई नहीं देना चाहिए. So these are the preventive measures that one should follow to prevent himself or herself from spamming. Now we will discuss the individual right to privacy. Individual right to privacy means, first we need to understand what is privacy. Privacy means that we are having our own space. Supposingly, if I am doing something, if I am typing something on my digital account, on my WhatsApp account, on my email account, then you are not supposed to interfere in between my chat, in between my work. I have my privacy issues. Everyone has its privacy issues. So privacy deals with the right of an individual to keep his personal information secret. Yes, it's our fundamental right that we can keep our personal information very secret to others. Supposingly, if I do not want to share my date of birth to someone, then someone cannot force me to ask. Okay, so this is my right. So these, if someone is threatening or if someone is breaking our privacy, then it will also consider as the cyber crime. Supposingly, if I am keeping my date of birth secret, but Rakshit or Shalja want to steal it, then both they are the cyber criminals. Okay, so it is unethical and illegal to use such information. Supposingly that I do not want to share my photo, but you are using my photo without my permission, that means you are stealing my privacy, you are stealing my private information. So yes, it is unethical and it is illegal because you are not having my consent. Because if you are using any thing without the consent of the concerned person, then it will be considered as the unethical practice. So it is very important to save private information from unauthorized use. That means unauthorized means which you have not given the permission. So how we can protect ourselves from privacy of individual, or we can say the privacy, individual right to privacy. So never share your login credential with anyone. What do you mean by the login credential? Login credential includes your username, your email address, your mobile phone number, your password, your OTP, and etc. Disable the cookies in your web browser to safeguard leakage of information. Yes, this is very important thing. I know, and I hope that you have observed that when you open any website, then it asks you to press the OK button, and in which they say that we are accessing your cookies. So now a student will ask me, sir, what is cookies? Cookies is nothing but your personal data. Cookies is what? Your personal data on internet. So once you click on that OK button, that means you are giving permission to that website that you can access my online data. अगर आपने उस कुकीज में OK बटन दबा दिया तो इसका मतलब आप कह रहे हैं कि ठीक है बेटा, आप मेरा ऑनलाइन इंफॉर्मेशन ले लो. तो कुकीज, जैसे कि कल सात्विक ने बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट रखा था कि हम जब तक उस OK बटन पर नहीं दबाते हैं तब तक वो हमें वेबसाइट को एक्सेस नहीं करने देता. एक्सेस यानी कि यूज नहीं करने देता. बिल्कुल सही बात है. कई वेबसाइट जो हमें फोर्सफुली कुकीज एक्सेप्ट करवाती है. तो वेब ब्राउजर में आप डिसेबल भी कर सकते हैं कुकीज को. Never keep sensitive information unprotected in your system. That means if you are containing your private data in your system, in your phone, then I'm not saying that delete it, but make sure that it is saved in a very secure folder, or in that folder only you know. Okay, so I hope that you understood the individual right to privacy. Now we will understand the software piracy, not the privacy. It will consider as the piracy, software piracy. Software piracy refers to the unauthorized duplication and use of computer software. Okay, supposedly students, Zoom is a big success. Yes, everyone will agree to me. Zoom is a big success in the field of online video conferencing. What if I copy all the features, all the system, okay, and make a duplicate copy and then sell it out? Then it will be referred as the software piracy. That means without having one's permission, I am making the duplicate copy of any software and then I am just selling it out. So software developers work hard to develop software program. Yes, we know it. I know that you will agree to me. Once we were creating the programs in Python, how much time it was taking? It was taking so much time. So supposingly software programmers को कितना टाइम लगता होगा एक सॉफ्टवेयर बनाने में, उनकी कितनी मेहनत लगती है, उनका कितना दिमाग लगता है, उनका कितना लॉजिक लगता है. बट सोचो, आपने अपना लॉजिक लगा के, आपने अपना दिमाग लगा के एक सॉफ्टवेयर तैयार किया, बट उस सॉफ्टवेयर की कॉपी बना करके बेची जा रही है, तो आपको कितना हर्ट होगा, क्योंकि मेहनत तो सारी आपकी है, बट वो उसको फ्री में प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है. देन इट इज कंसिडर्ड एज दिस सॉफ्टवेयर पायरेसी. जो टेलीग्राम में आता है, जैसे कि मूवीज, जो बनाने वाले ने मूवी तो बनाई, उसके ऊपर कितना सारा बजट खर्च हुआ, उसको उन्होंने सिनेमा हॉल में लॉन्च किया या फिर ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म पे लॉन्च किया, जिसमें वो फीस चार्ज कर रहे थे. बट बाय द यूजिंग ऑफ टेलीग्राम मेथड और एनी अदर मेथड, वो जो है स्टील हो रहा है डेटा, है ना, पायरेट हो रहा है. तो उसे हम क्या बोलते हैं? सॉफ्टवेयर पायरेसी. So if those applications are pirated and stolen are the synonyms. So the software developer will often be unable to generate the money required to continue supporting and expanding the software. Yes, it's very obvious to understand. If my software will be available to everyone without any fees, then how I will earn? Then I can't earn. So that's why this is known as the software piracy. Okay, bete? Now, to prevent software piracy, what step we can follow? So never download unauthorized copy of software from the internet. Yes, never download. If you say that this is the unauthorized software, then please do not download. Always purchase a licensed software. Okay, never use a software purchased for one system on multiple system. Yes, this is the Indian philosophy. What we do is, we just purchase for one system and then copy paste it to the multiple system. That makes the software piracy also. Never use pirated CDs of movies or music. Yes, the point which I am discussing with you is never use the pirated CDs or of the music or the movies. So now it's time to understand the intellectual right to property. Intellectual right to property means refers to the creation of any individual's mind, like inventions, artistic work, literary work, etc. As I have given you the example yesterday or in the previous class, that supposedly I have invented some very big project or very interesting project, or I have done some great artistic work, or I have written a very great poem, but without my permission, without my consent, someone is using that poem, someone is using that artistic work, then it will be considered as the intellectual right to property, because that property is mine. The logic or the intellectual part is mine. Okay, so that is known as the intellectual right to property. So it can also belong to an organization, like its products, formulations, logos or symbols, brand name or designs, etc. Supposedly, if what happen if Pepsi or the Coca-Cola will reveal its recipe, once they will reveal that recipe, then everyone will try to make that kind of Pepsi or that kind of Coca-Cola. Then how the unique thing will happen? So जो भी उसकी uniqueness है, that will be disappeared. So that's why if we are stealing someone's product, the real product, the formulations, the logos or the symbols or the brand name. Supposingly, if I am starting my cool drink company as a Pepsi brand, then it will be referred as the intellectual right to property, because I am not supposed to put my company name as Pepsi again, because it is already been registered. Okay, so intellectual property rights protect the unauthorized use of such intellectual properties, either directly or by reproducing it. Supposingly, if you are directly using that name, or you are using that name by reproducing the system, by reproducing the formula of that recipe, so this will also comes under the category of intellectual right to property. Okay, so now we will look how to prevent infringement into intellectual property right. Infringement means the breaching, the breaking. So first, the very first method is copyright. Supposingly Rakshit is having a company, Rakshit have a company which is very global brand. Okay, he sells the trousers, shoes, names the Rakshit shoes, Rakshit trousers. So what he will do is he will use the copyright. That means no one now can use the brand name as Rakshit. Okay, so you use copyright to safeguard your creative work or the artistic work. Copyright protects the individual from unauthorized creation of their work. Okay, getting my point or not? Then we can switch to the industrial property also. Industrial Property Act safeguard the industry formulation, design, commercial names, etc. So we can go for the patents. Patents is also the formulation or the rules in which we just say that this name is mine, this formula is mine, this recipe is mine, this artistic work belongs to me. That means some possessiveness. Okay, so patents provides formulation rights to industries. Formulation right means that supposedly that Domino's Pizza will not reveal its recipe, how it creates the pizza. Okay, so that formulation right is reserved to Domino's. So why the formulation right is reserved to Domino's? Because it is having the patent of that recipe. Next is trademark. As the name suggests, trademark, the mark which we are using as our trading in our business, is only belongs to us or our organization only. If I will take the example of our school, that we are having a logo in which Amrit to Vidya is the tagline, so that logo belongs to us only. If some other school will use that logo or that brand name, so let's say for instance that some school is using the Leal Public School and its logo, then we can file a case to against that school, because that logo belongs to our organization, belongs to our school. Okay, so no one can reuse it without our permission. So it provides exclusive rights on the symbol, that means the logo, the name, the colors also. The just like for instance our school uses the yellow color in the logo, that means in that logo no one can use the other color also. Okay, so this comes under the category of industrial property and we can secure it from the trademarks. So last but not the least is industrial design right. It gives exclusive right to companies to identify and distinguish their products. What is this? This means that companies or organization can differ, can categorize that the data, the logo, the name, the brand name, the formulations logic belongs to us only. No one has right to copy it or reframe it. Okay, so I hope that you have cleared all the phenomena about the intellectual right to property. So student, this is how we have completed our chapter. I will not give this safety measures for using computer and internet and the digital footprint in your course. Okay, so this is how we have completed our chapter 2. Take care.